Hello, Sue Rose Minahan, and today is February 10th, 2021, and it's Now Chat, and it's part of the Top Cosmos editions. We do Saturday night shows every week, and you'll see them. But hey, today, laughter is the funny bone. There was a little amazing absurdity that caught us all off guard. It's like, oh, what fun. And people are wanting to know, how can you put that on your own videos? Because a lawyer somehow in his system, because he had a Dell computer, it turns out, one of the older ones, and he had this little kitten on his face, and it was like, I'm not a cat. And the lawyer says very deadpan, like, I can see that. Well, laughter, of course, and everybody is just knocked out about it because we need laughter. Yes, we need to have, in fact, they say that there's less, takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. The heart, laughter doth best medicine, is really, it energizes. It's like a muscle. It gets that heart going. And the heart's ruled by Leo in the sun. And so every month, every time in our astrology of horoscopes, the sun is in a different sign. So what are these particular signs that really love to laugh? I mean, right now, I'll just show you quickly the chart that is for today. Yeah. And everything is in Aquarius. I mean, not everything, but it's a stellium, as we call it. We have the sun, Pallas Athena, Mercury in retrograde. See that? And going back, touching all these different planets. There's Jupiter next to it, very close to Venus. Then we have Saturn and the moon. So it's quite everything except a few. And in fact, what's really happening is that Mars is in a tight conjunction to Mercury, a funny bone of life, especially in Aquarius. Aquarius is the absurd. It's really like, what could be so out of the box that it would just grab our attention? And Uranus, of course, that rules Aquarius, is also squaring the moon of our emotions and Saturn. So let's look a little bit at some of these signs. I looked up Aries. It said that they laugh loud, and it's contagious. It's a fire sign, and you got to just join in and laugh. It's like, oh my gosh, the fire roars. Earth sign Taurus, kind of, it's more, it giggles or cackles loud. They say there's nothing in between. It's like one or the other, maybe like an earthquake, I don't know, or a tremor. Air, Gemini. Now I'm a Gemini, and I can testify this is actually true. And I might also say it could be, we are the sun signs, but we also have our moon, and the moon is personal, and that could be a more of a dominant force. It depends on so many issues. It's not just cut and dried, but these are like where the energies lie. They stomp their feet. Yes, it happens, and move the whole body and the mouth wide open. Well, I I definitely do this. And motion, hey, it's a mutable sign. It, Cancer, they chuckle. It's a water sign and a cardinal sign too. But when they really laugh, they can't stop, and they're on the floor laughing. It's just so embodied, and maybe it goes from the next sign down, but it's also a very personal sign. So it's going to take over everything. And of course, there's combinations. Leo is so enchanting. So it said, one's driven, like, let's get this person to laugh again. And this is, so it's just not too loud, too quiet. It's a fire sign, and it's a manifestation. It's very interesting because if we look at the polarity with Aquarius, they also have a similarity. So there could be so many combinations of what really makes us laugh, because it is personal, but it's also how we see the other, how we kind of see that common denominator between us and the other. There's so many reasons why we laugh. And back to the Taurus, it's body. So slapstick was big, like in the early part of the first century, because so many people, I think, had their Pluto in Taurus. Well, we got to get through these signs. So another earth sign, which is Virgo, covers their mouth, maybe to be, oh, it's more delicate but hardy. It's this earth sign, and maybe they're just conscious of the physicality. I don't know. And in Libra, they also cover their mouth, which I don't ever do. I have a Libra moon, but it's sort of like bells tinkling, which is more of a beauty. They're both very beautiful in some ways. There's so many ways to look into this. Scorpio, water sign, fixed, barking, hardy, but genuine. Is like, yeah, it's the real deal. You hit right down to their core. And also the whole body, which means it's the opposite of Taurus. It's also body, because we have an axis. It's not just one sign, but it's really six, on two sides of a coin, but like the Tao, there's a little bit of each and both. And we need that positive, that strength in one to take care of the weaknesses of the other. So back to laughter. Sagittarius snickers, chuckles, but when they laugh, the eyes close and they howl. It's like an inside thing. It's just like, oh my gosh, it must escape outside, because it is that vision, Sag, going out, beyond to other horizons and visions. Now, Capricorn, also Earth, chortles. I'm not sure what chortle sounds like, but sort of a chortle chuckle. And also, but here, Earth sign, again, because it's social, going out, it's more, it turns inward, like, oh my gosh, here we are inside. Like, can this be true? And slapping the knee, which again, as an Earth sign, maybe it picks up some of that energy, because signs, it can be like, if they're cardinal, they all act in a certain way, but in their dimension. If it's Earth, they all have a substance, but in their dimension. It's just subtleties of astrology, of the astrological viewpoints. Okay, with Aquarius, and that's where we are now with this enormous stellium. They laugh light, again, like Leo, and it's an air sign, but it's a fixed, but you just have, you can't wait. You have to make them laugh again. This is like really a connector. And, it's also a very social sign. It's a networking of community. And so it's contagious. And they clap, it's said. Now, I've noticed people clapping, and I'll have to analyze this myself. So off to the last of the 12 is Pisces, and it giggles, kind of cute. It's a little bit like, maybe like its mutable sign Sagittarius is said to kind of snicker or chuckle, but it giggles and snickers until it finally just breaks down and howls. And it just, like its Cancer water sign, just rolls around. So isn't this what we need? Mercury, let's look at that chart again. Mercury is retrograde, and it is going to be connecting with Jupiter and Venus, so close. And Mercury, when it's is like the trickster. So it's going to change things up and down and around, and make you see things in totally a different light. And in fact, that was really the role of the trickster in some ways, like for an Indian, part of the native Indian culture, they would have somebody come that would just poke fun. And the jester for the courts, we need to see somebody that's outside the rules, that really can show us another viewpoint, so that we can begin laughing. And right now, it is in that tight square, and with Uranus, oh my. Well, whether it's a kitten with a lawyer and a little absurdity, it's a release. So do subscribe. You'll notice that, and comment. Thanks so much. Always great to connect. Lots of love.